My name is Javed Anand. I am from Communalism Combat. Dr. Naik has said repeatedly that the punishment for any crime depends on the gravity of the crime, and he has specifically talked about the American state and once about the Indian state, and saying for treason, if any official of the government of India, employed by the government of India, or any official employed by the government of the United States reveals the secrets of the states which compromise the integrity and sovereignty of that state, then he should be punished to death. And is there anything wrong in that? Or there has to be some punishment that follows. That is my impression. I stand corrected.
Yes.
Having said this, he then proceeds to make the point that Taslima Nasreen, for example, he says that there are so many contradictory reports in various papers that he can come to no conclusion whatsoever. Maybe he is also in doubt as to whether any Maulana has or has not passed a fatwa against Taslima Nasreen. But it seems to me that contained in that argument also is that if Taslima Nasreen has said anything against the Quran, because that is her firm belief, just as it is a firm belief of many other people that Quran is the word of Allah, then she can be tried by numerous authorities, including by Dr. Zakir Naik himself. If Taslima Nasreen were here today, he will know her age, he will know whether she is a gynecologist, whether she believes in Islam, etc., etc. At the end of which he can pronounce some punishment for her, which could also mean chopping off opposite limbs or head or exile. Of those four options is given. Now, if there are to be many centers of jurisdiction, I mean many people, whether it's a mullah or a pandit or a Shankaracharya or a pope or whatever it is, who can simultaneously decide what crime for what punishment, then I have a question. I come from the district of Allahabad, from a village in Allahabad, where there's a mosque in which I have prayed for many years during my years. I know for a fact, most of us Muslims know for a fact, as also the Hindus of the village, that in that mosque on the outer boundary there are statues which could only have come from some temple or another. If some Pandit from my village in Allahabad decides that a temple was destroyed here a few hundred years back or whatever it is, and for that crime that Pandit sitting in that village decides that the Muslims of that village be killed and all the Hindus killed, all the Muslims or as many Muslims as they can, is there something wrong with it? Is this what he is suggesting?
If he asks, please repeat the question, it is going to be very difficult.
Well, I'll summarize it. Can there be many centers? Can there be many centers of decision making in terms of what constitutes crime and what is punishment?
Brother, thank you for the short speech. In your short speech, you have asked at least 10-15 questions, if not more. Whatever I can remember, one question. That's it. So all the previous thing is nullified. If I don't answer, don't blame me, because they misquoted me saying that the Indian government can punish her to death. I didn't say that. Punishment. What punishment? Depends upon the law of the government. Coming to your second part, you said that even Dr. Zakir Naik can call her here, can ask her age, can ask her profession, and you said it in very beautiful. Fine, no problem. Please let me complete my answer. I gave you enough time to pose the question. Enough time, please give me an opportunity to answer. And even Dr. Naik can sentence her to death or cut off her limbs, etc. No, Dr. Zakir Naik cannot. Dr. Zakir Naik cannot. I don't have the authority. I can give a fatwa. Please let me tell you what's the meaning of fatwa. Again, you may not be aware of the word. Arabic word fatwa means opinion. But my opinion has got no value. Since we believe in freedom of speech, every individual has a right to his opinion, including me, including you, brother. You can, like Kushwan Singh offers her his home, he has a right to his opinion. I can't object. But I can't sentence her. Only a qazi has a right to give judgment and the verdict. There's a world of a difference between fatwa and a verdict. Fatwa, I'd like to give the example, like suppose a lawyer, he gives his opinion to the judge, but the judge can differ from the lawyer. The fatwa need not be a judgment. Let me remind you that, brother. Even I may be an expert, which I am not. I as a doctor cannot give a fatwa on Islam. Fatwa in my personal opinion, yes, as an individual, but not as a scholar, neither as a judge, because I am not a judge. Regarding your one summarized question, that can, and if I've forgotten the question you can repeat, brother, that can the same crime have different punishments, or can different centers be set up for punishment? Correct, brother? Can you repeat the question, brother?
The question is, can there be more than limited to one authority. For example,
That's right.
For example, in India, there are courts of law, which are set up to decide whether a crime has been committed. If committed according to the law of the land, what punishment should follow. In your view, whether in India or in Bangladesh or anywhere else, I mean, one is the state which kind of gives certain authorities to judicial. Can there be other centers of...
Brother is asking me that can there be several centers of giving judgment in India first, then I come to Bangladesh. I'm sorry, again he has misunderstood the Islamic law. In India, the Muslim Personal Law Board can only give judgment on personal issues like divorce, like marriage, like inheritance. They cannot pass their law on criminal cases because we have a common criminal law in India. So the question is baseless. Regarding Bangladesh, I don't know, again, don't think I'm trying to avoid the question. Again, I don't know how many boards or how many courts of law are there in Bangladesh. But if you talk of Islam in the previous ages, there was something like Khilafat, there was a Khalifa, and he was the head. There may be small courts, like how we have a problem in the low court, you go to a high court. If you have a problem in the high court, you go to Supreme Court. So there, the Khilafat, the main court was him. He was a Khalifa, he appoints the main chief judge, like how you have Supreme Court. If there are any small courts falters, you can go to the chief one. But today, the Khilafat has been abolished. But maybe countries may be having their own way of low court, high court, Supreme Court. We have to analyze the history of the country. Hope that answers the question, brother. It may be a new question, but I hope
your commission just asked one question, that you cannot be confused about one issue, that some Maulana, however highly respected he may be, has not been made a judge or a small court or a high court or a Supreme Court in the country of Bangladesh. Does he have a right to give a public call for the head of Tasliman Nasrin?
That's right. If you had heard my answer correctly, with attention, you would have got the answer. I said everyone, including you and I, have the right to give fatwa. Fatwa means opinion. Please let me complete. He gave a fatwa. His opinion was that he called for the head of Tasliman Nasrin.
Anybody who kills Tasliman Nasrin will get that. It's a call in front of the...
That's right. Now 50,000 takas has just come now. First your question did not include that. I answered to that. Please let me answer, brother. Then I'll give you any opportunity with the permission of the chair. Does anyone have the right to call for anyone's head, even if it be a fatwa or opinion? Even while giving opinion, you cannot slander anyone, neither can you abuse anyone. If it's an Islamic country, a person, Tasliman Nasrin, can sue that Maulana, saying that he... Please let me complete, sister. See, I'm not interrupting your questions, so if you please not interrupt my answer, it will be better. I'm just giving a general opinion of Islam. Please, sister, if you allow me. She has a right if it's an Islamic country. I don't know how far is Bangladesh an Islamic country, how far are they following the laws of Islam, I don't know. Maybe they are following, maybe not following. So she has a right, if she thinks that the death sentence put on her head is wrong, she has a right to take him to an Islamic court, if there is one, and sue. But let me link your answer with the comment laid down by the learned speaker, Father Pereira. He made a comment that it is very easy to frame anyone in the blasphemous law and sentence that person to death. Or taking the example of Tasliman Nasrin, sorry, that it is not very easy, as easy, Father Pereira has said, because if you produce a witness in the court of law, if the crime is a small crime, 2 witnesses required. If the crime is great, 4 witnesses. And if any of those 4 witnesses falter, believe me, if any of those 4 witnesses falter during cross-examination, all 4 of them receive 80 lashes each. 80 lashes. It's not that easy. It's not as easy as we take an oath in the court of Indian government. मैं सच कहूँगा, सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं कहूँगा, and then you can lie. It's not that easy. You receive 80 lashes each, and believe me, it's very difficult to bear those lashes. It's not as easy as Father Pereira has made it sound. Hope that answers the question, brother.
Yes. No, I think we should...
Dr. Naik,